Hi guys, welcome back to Cycle GF channel. In today's video, we will expose the coding tricks used by the online casinos. Not the online casinos, because online casino is a platform owned by someone who owns the license. And what this person does, the owner of the online platform, he buys the casino game packages, from multiple different operating companies, such as Evolution. You got Azugi, and you got Pragmatic, you got Playtech. All of these are independent software providers. Okay, so as an independent software providers, they have their own coding system. How do they code their games? So when the online casino, when they buy these packages, they go, through the terms and conditions. They go through all the specifications and functionality of these software. So part of the negotiation between the online casino platform and the software providers is, how do they secure that they don't have leakages, or they don't have any type of potential, red flag that they could, bleed money, by paying the money to the players. So what happens here, basically, the online casino platform, or such as Stake, or you got Roobet, you got you name it. There are so many of them. BC.game, you got BitStars, you got all of these. These are called the online casino platform. Okay, or they are even called the online casino operators. And then there are the providers of the solutions, such as Evolution and Pragmatic and Playtech and so forth. Now, the software providers, what they have to do is they have to reveal these codes in front of you guys. Okay, now, how does these codes work? Let's say in Baccarat game, for instance. How can a Baccarat game can be rigged? So we will go through the what do you call that? We're gonna go through the coding system, okay, slowly, step by step. So I'm gonna take you guys step by step and explain how these code works. Now, this is a basic code right here. It says generate, generate two colors, red or blue, and you can call it banker or player. Right? So, and then this red and blue should be based on a random number generator, meaning that here you go, it says random 50%. Okay, so 50% is red and 50% is blue. So that's the coding. Okay, so it says that, okay, generate red or blue based on 50% probability, and the code will generate red or blue based on 50% probability distribution. So that's straightforward. Now, I can create, by the way, this is the code that I created in order to create or develop my own Baccarat game. So I can create a Baccarat game with codes. So I can just program some codes and then start betting. Okay, so I do my own apps development. So basically, I can code on my own. All right, so basically now here, this is a basic random number generator, 50-50. Okay, it's a coin toss. So basically the software, there is a code for 50-50 generation of either red or blue. Now, let's go further into the coding so that we can slowly, I will reveal to you guys where the danger zone is, or where the manipulation can take place. Now, this is the next stage. So once we create a random number generator, saying that you can, generate banker or player based on 50-50 probability distribution, the next coding is design a chip value from $1 to $1,000. And then the selected value appears in the bet amount box. So basically, I'm coding here. I'm saying that, design two boxes for me. One box is called banker box. The other one is called player box. Okay, so I want basically the code to generate values of the chips all the way from $1 to $1,000 for the player to choose the value of these chips, okay, and then generate the random number generator, generate the red or blue circle based on random number generator once the user or the player presses on the deal button. Okay, so this is the next stage in the coding program. So basically, I'm designing the code saying that the player has the ability to choose a chip value from $1 all the way to $1,000. And the maximum is whatever, 10,000, 1 million. I can choose these parameters. And then once the player presses on the deal, and once the player selects the value, it should appear in the bet amount box. So once you press on the $100, you are able to put that $100 in the betting box. And once the deal button is pressed, a random number generator basically generate either red or blue. Okay, we understood that, right? So basically, this is where the coding takes place. So that's my code for that particular function, for selection of the bet size and placing the bet on the appropriate box. And then once it's placed in the box, then automatically, it generates red or blue circle once the deal button is pressed. Now let's go further. So here's the deal. Okay, so basically now it's clear. The code says choose the chip from $1 to $1,000, any amount, and then place that value on the appropriate box. So let's say you chose $100 and you placed it in the bet amount on the betting box, and then you press the deal button, and then what appears all of a sudden is a blue. Now let's go further. Okay, now this is the next stage. Now let's go further into the steps and I'll clarify even further. Now here is the next stage of development. Okay, so basically what here you have is a bet is now, that box is now, we will now create two boxes. One is called a banker box. The other one is called a player box. Okay, now a banker box, basically if you place the bet on the banker box and it's a red circle by random number generator, then you win. The outcome is win. You get paid out. If you place a banker bet in the banker box and then it appears a blue circle or player or letter P, then you lose. So this is programmable. I mean, I can program this in the software. I did it. This is my code, guys. Here's the code. That's my code right here. And this is exactly the code of the software you will find in Evolution or Pragmatic or whatever. Okay, so here you go. You place the bet on the player. If the circle is blue, you win. If a bet player box and the circle is red, you're gonna lose. Simple as that. It's very, very easy coding, guys. Very easy. Okay. Now here is the code for it. Okay, that's the code for it. Function deal, bet side, chip value, construction, construct red. The math is random, based on 50% distribution. Let result be red and blue. Let win be on the betting side, which is the box. If banker should be red and a player should be red for the winning side. Otherwise, lose. Okay, now this is how the winning and losing is programmed based on which box you bet. And that's the code. That's the programming code for it. Now the screen layout for this is, so you select the chip value and then you select, let's say $100. You place it in the banker box and you press the deal button and the banker shows up, you win. Or you place the bet $100 on the player. If the banker shows up, you lose. This is a straightforward programming code. Okay, now this is the design of the code that I created for my Baccarat application. Now let's go and further step into the code itself. Now, here is the the unethical and the dangerous part of the coding comes in, guys. So, and this is what I did it. I did it myself, and anybody can do. Evolution can do it. Pragmatic can do it. Anyone can do it. Now, here I'm saying to to the coding here, it says force banker to lose. See this letter here? It's called force banker to lose. So now the software is in the force mode. Now the button for this exists in the backend panel of the casino. So in the backend panel, they can press a button on their app, pressing on force banker to lose mode or force player to lose. Now, what does this button do? So force banker says if bet side is banker. So let's say the player chooses a chip value $100, places the chip of $100 on the banker box. The result will be blue. Blue means player. That's it. It's a very simple code, guys. Nothing, nothing complicated. It's just a press of a button, okay, by somebody sitting in the back end, right? And it can force the code to go into the force mode. A forced mode basically is the opposite outcome. So if the bet side is banker, result is blue. Else, and then let's say the bet side is banker. So this is called the winning mode. A winning mode is when a bet side is banker, result is red. Bet side is player, result is blue. If win balance is equal to chip value, so basically plus sign or minus sign chip value. So you're going to be plus. Equal to plus means additional to the chip value. Else minus chip value. Okay, result, balance, win, whatever. So basically, this is what I wanted to highlight, guys. This particular code right here is called the force mode, and the force mode is basically forcing one side to win, which is the opposite side of the player's bet. So if the bet side is banker, then result should be blue, and this will be forced. Okay, and that why they call it forced in the coding language, because this force can be as a result of press of a button from somewhere. It can be an application. There's a button. They push it. They call it force. Okay, that's how easy it is. So with this logic, basically what it does is bet banker always returns blue, and balance decreases by the bet amount. If betting is on player, always returns. I think this is something wrong here, but player always returns red. So basically, here it says that if the mode is on the force mode, then banker will always return to blue. Otherwise, if the player is always returns blue. Now, this is one way of programming. So basically, the force mode could be on one side only, not on the both sides. So sometimes they force the mode on both sides. This is why they time your betting. Like you have like 10 seconds to bet. Okay, so that they want to know which side you're betting, so that they can force it. Okay, they can force the result on the opposite color. So basically, if you're betting on the banker, blue will show up. If you're betting on the player, red circle will show up. Okay. All right, guys. So basically, what we going to be showing now is a live example of how these forced mode look like. So let's say I'm betting on the banker, and the code basically right now it's on a regular mode. So basically, whenever I'm placing, on one side, it's basically result is based on a random number generator. So basically, it's based on 50-50. So when does the mode shifts from random number generator to a force mode? Now that's the key where you have to really pay attention to. Okay, now this could happen at any time. I mean, you never know when it's going to happen. when is the mode is going to shift from RNG, random number generator, to a forced mode, meaning that forcing you to lose. Now, in that case, basically that will depend a lot on your playing style. So basically now you are playing there, and they will let the random number generator to play its effect. So they will monitor your playing style, and they will see that if you're winning or losing. Okay, so if you are basically winning, okay, what's going to happen is that later on they're going to shift the mode to force mode, right? This is one of the games that I played earlier, okay, and I'm just pulling out my video in order to explain how does this happen. Okay, so basically here, okay, now here we go. So basically here I'm placing, okay, it's a regular RNG right now. There's nothing wrong. I'm winning, okay, and my bankroll is increasing. Okay, so basically, all of these winners list are fake, guys, and these are part of the software program to generate these effects. Winning names, winning values, and all of this. Don't pay attention to it. Nothing is live. Everything is fake. Everything is just basically it's a user experience. Okay, they are trying to create an effect of the game so that you feel engaged, with the game. All right. So now, at any moment now, what I'm trying to say is, while you are playing, they can shift the mode from RNG to force mode. That's what I'm trying to say. So it could be at any time. You never know when it's going to happen. So my analysis to this is that, if you are playing, once you are in a forced mode, it depends on if your profile is tagged or not, right? So if your profile is tagged, definitely they're going to put the game on a force mode. If you are a new player and they don't know your playing style, they will put it on the RNG mode. So one question is, now, isn't this live? I mean, these cards are basically, it's already there. So this is, I think, this is where we explained this phenomena before, called augmented reality. And all the scanning, code is on these cards. So what it does is, these are letters, these are digital prints. Okay, these are not real physical prints. Okay, this is not a paint. It's not like they're painted or colored the card. These are digital prints. These digital prints can be altered, can be changed at any point of time while it's sitting inside the deck. Right? So, these digital numbers are basically, through the scanning bars, are linked with a central system, okay, central computer system. And basically, if the mode is on a force mode, meaning that, it will go opposite of your bet, obviously, all these digital prints will be changed without you noticing. So you will not notice digital prints have changed because, they can change it before she pulls out, the cards from the deck. This is why these prints are digital. They are not paints. They're not real paint. They are digital. There are digital prints. It can be altered. Okay, it can be altered through computer apps. So it's not a big deal, right? So this is how they alter the cards if your betting is based on a force mode. And we explained to you guys clearly how the coding system works. And now we are explaining how that coding system, comes out in a reality, in real life. So basically, she doesn't, as a dealer, she doesn't know. She thinks, everything is real either. I mean, if you ask the dealer, are they cheating? Well, she will say, no, they're not cheating. Why? Because they don't tell dealers what's happening. Dealer's job is purely mechanical. She is just pulling the cards and pointing to the right card. Sometimes she even makes mistakes, and they don't even know how to read the numbers properly. She has to watch the screen to tell her that this side won. Sometimes, her hands, move in a different direction, opposite direction. Sometimes, the winner is a player. She points at banker. So basically, they're not even looking at the card. They are looking at a screen. Okay, they are looking at a screen. The screen tells them what to do. Now, look at her eyes. Okay, they are all looking at a screen. Okay, the screen, she can read, which side won. That's about it, really. And then her hand is mechanical. She's just moving the card pretending that these cards are real and physical. Okay, look at her eyes. I mean, she's not even paying attention to the card. She's looking at the card, and then her eyeballs is running. So in this case, if you can see that I am winning, and basically so far, you might have spotted that I'm winning on certain pattern, such as twos. So suddenly you will realize that the twos pattern is changing on you. So let's say if you see the twos, you're gonna follow the twos, right? And then after about 10 or 15 minutes, you can never win on the twos. Okay, that's where the force mode took place. So basically what's going to happen now, whenever there is a twos and you start betting, the outcome on the board is as a result of force mode on your bets, meaning that your bets are getting faltered. They are basically forcing you to lose, and you see the outcome on the board. So whatever you see on the board is a latent, meaning that it's a delayed action. First you lose, and then the outcome appears. So basically they will act on you by pressing the force mode on you, make you lose, and then you see the pattern. Oh, the pattern just got broken. So basically for you, the pattern broke. But in actuality, it's not the pattern that broke. It's actually, they press the force mode button on you. Okay, so nevertheless, if you look at my balance, and even if you look at your balance at any point in time, it's very, very hard, guys, for the balance to go up exponentially. I mean, I started with 1,200, and I'm still at, around that range. So I'm not going like from $1,200 to $2,000, or let's say, well, 1,002, 3, 4, 5. It's not going like that. It's not going exponentially. Basically, it's a tough volatility pattern out there. Okay. So I'm trying to wait to see now when they will start hammering me. So basically, once you see that you are going into in a force mode, you will see a losing streak showing up, right? So in this case, what happens, what casinos don't like, even in the land-based casino, is when you are going high and low. So in this case, like, look, sometimes I place $100, sometimes I place $5, sometimes I place $1. If you do that, just watch the body language of the dealer. The dealer will get pissed off. The dealer will have a slight smile on her face by looking at the somewhere, on her left side or the right side, indicating that, this guy is, playing tricks. Okay, they will have a certain body language when you do that. When you are betting high and low, they don't like it. Why? Because you are making their life difficult. So when you are placing $1, $1, $1, $1, and then suddenly you place a high bet amount, and then they get you. But you think that you can trick them, but they can't be tricked, guys. These softwares are pretty accurate. They can even place in a force mode. Okay, let me just move this. I don't. So look, when you are betting, okay, small and high and low, it doesn't really matter if you're betting low and high. They can even create a parameter saying that apply the force mode when a betting size limit exceed $5, for instance. They can put a parameter. Look at my balance. So far, it's down. I'm down 1,158 from $1,200. So there's nothing to, I mean, I might be getting lucky towards the end. That's a different case. Okay, you might get lucky once in a while, right? And also it depends, like, how many people are playing. So there are maybe a few others playing at the same time. Sometimes, this the force mode can backfire. So, especially when there are few others playing with you. But most of the time, you will see yourself playing alone on the table, by the way. Most of the time, you're alone. Sometimes somebody can join the table. Yes, for sure. 1, 2, or 3 others. But not like, all of this list of people. That's bogus. That's bullshit. All right? So most of the time, you're alone. And sometimes you will be playing with the others. but they will not let you know if the others are there or not. All these numbers are fake. What you see on these are software generated numbers. The values of bets and the number of people who won, these are software generated. In reality, most of the time you're playing alone, and sometimes one or two others or three others might join the table. Okay, and that can happen, and that's where, for instance, you could get lucky, by the way. But if you are playing alone and you are betting high, they will get you big time. Okay, they will get you through a forced mode. They will make your bet lose all the time. So right now, I won this $100. Yeah. So basically, look, my bankroll was 1,200. Now it's up to 1,271. That's not a big deal. And if I continue now betting here, basically what's going to happen is that, at some point, others might lose and leave the table. You will be left alone. In this case, it's all theirs, guys. They will have you, they will have you on their frying pan. Okay, if you caught alone. Okay, so now you could spot this manipulation, by the way, by looking at your win and loss rates. So if you really feel that that there is something going on, that whenever you bet is going to the opposite, I think it's time to realize that it's really getting manipulated, and you should be leaving. You should be stopping the game. And sometimes, if you really want to play, you want to make sure that that you're winning and losing. There is a zigzag between the wins and losses, and there's a healthy pattern of wins and losses. And also watch out for deliberate act, which is, in coding terms, force mode. If your bet is constantly getting opposite side, then it might also be accurate that you are being monitored, and the software is deliberately acting against you, right? This is why most of the time you should be betting low, not betting high, in order to avoid to be victimized. Don't be a victim of these softwares, right? If you're betting, just bet small and try to make some small profit and get out. I think that's probably a healthy way of playing this. If you really want to just entertain yourself, and if you just want to have fun, and not really to start thinking that you want to make a lot of amount of money. If you're, this is why people from certain countries like Far East, like Philippines and Vietnam, for them, winning $5 a day is more than enough. Okay, so for them it's like, hey, it's fantastic. I have my $5 and I'm okay. Those people with so much low target, that who are satisfied with $4 or $5 a day, might be successful in this venture. But others from developed countries, like from US or from Europe, these guys, they're not satisfied with $5, man. I mean, they want not even $100. I mean, they want $500. I mean, they want $500, $1,000 a day. I mean, minimum. Their target is like $200 a day minimum, because of standard of living. So basically, they are in there to make some income. They're saying, what am I going to do? I mean, what kind of entertainment is this? $5 a day. I mean, bullshit. I want to play, I want to get, if I really want to make up, for my time, I would rather win $200 a day. All right. So let's see if I win this. Yeah, I won this. Oh, wow. $400. So I should be getting out. So basically, look, I won this, right? My bankroll is like around 1,500 right now. So I brought this now bankroll from 1,200 to 1,500. But it took me how long? It took me about half an hour of playing low and high. Okay, so I played low and high, low and high. But majority of the time I was playing low, and sometimes I bet high. And when I bet high, I get lucky. But now you will see that the system is against me. So basically, you will see that I will be losing this 1,500 pretty soon if I continue. because now they're going to put me on a force mode. That's it. So they're going to put me on the force mode, and you can see that in the body language of the dealer as well. You will see that whenever you're getting into the room, the dealer is getting pissed off. So basically, she's in a very, very furious. She has an indication on the screen saying that this guy is tagged. Okay. So look, I mean, her body language is like, look, she's like, when I won that, and when I'm sitting on 1,500, she can see my stat, right? She doesn't like it. Okay. Her body language is kind of weird. She's like, okay, but if I continue betting low, she's gonna get nervous. I'm serious. She's gonna get nervous. Okay. And also, when I'm not betting, she's gonna get nervous too. Now, what they want me to see is betting high and quickly and faster, so that they can grab my bankroll. So now she's watching. Basically, what am I gonna do? So I'm also watching her. What she's doing, right? So now it's really kind of like cat and the mouse situation, right? So now they really want to get hold of my bankroll. Okay, so if I continue, I'm going to lose this. So let me see, how far am I? So let me just fast forward this a little bit towards the end. You will see that internet connection going down and all of that. It's just going to be crazy. All right, so I'm still hanging on with my my balance is 1,000. So it's not moving right now, okay? It's stagnating, okay? So we will see how it's going to end. I think, okay, look at my betting style. $2, $1, okay, that's it. So basically now I'm playing them. I'm playing them big time. And you can see that also in her body language. She's not happy with it, okay? Look, after winning, I scaled down my bet size to $4. Sometimes I bet, for 1 hour, I bet $1. Okay, so now they're gonna let me win on small. They are just waiting for me to escalate the bet size down. So am I gonna do it? If I'm smart, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna bet high anymore. Okay, because that win was pure luck, guys. On $100, 3 times multiplier was pure luck. And I told you, why sometimes you get lucky is because sometimes when you're playing, there are few others playing with you. When there are few others playing with you, others might be betting higher compared to your bet. That's the circumstances and situation where you could be winning. You got the point? This is why you need to bet low. If you are really playing online, you have to bet like $1 or $2 most of the time, so that you don't become a victim of this software codes, right? I mean, I'm doing the right thing. I'm placing $1 or $2 all the way, guys, towards the end. Look at my balance, stagnating, 1,483. The moment I escalate the bet size here, they're gonna push the button on the force mode. Each time when I bet higher, it's gonna result into a loss. All right, guys, I hope that you really enjoyed this video. It's a great lesson, in terms of how these softwares can manipulate you, how it can go into a force mode, and how you can play the software. So you can play the software by playing majority of the time very, very low, and sometimes you can place a bit high, see how it goes, because that will depend on if there are other players playing with you or not. But if you're alone and you're betting high, they will get you. You will be on a force mode. You will start losing. So all of these dynamics you must consider when you are playing online. So, and I mean, the platform is rigged, 100%. There's no doubt about it. It's 100% rigged. But you got to be careful. You got to protect your back when you are playing, and even better, don't play online. Okay? I mean, playing online, it's dangerous. It's extremely, extremely dangerous. It's not a place to bet with high bankroll, but if you want to entertain yourself, with $50 or $100 or $200 once in a while, I guess it should be fine. But still try not to lose your money, and understand these dynamics and apply the principles in a correct fashion. And press the like button if you liked it. Subscribe to our channel and join our community. And I'll see you guys in our next video. Cheers.